is a really interesting point. So Sarah Ferguson has closed down 6 businesses. A lot of them owe money, or a lot of them just had £1, for a shareholder. We don't know where she is. We've been trying to find Sarah for a while. She appears to be she's in hiding. And I do have, she should be. If Andrew's going to be questioned, then why isn't Sarah? Because she appears to be implicated in these Epstein files. She's not in the royal bubble anymore. She doesn't live with a royal. She's lost her Duchess of York title. Will 2026 get better or worse? Are we still seeing doom for the couple, or what?
It's going to get worse.
It's going to get worse.
We haven't reached rock bottom yet.
This is the story of a woman who once walked down the aisle of Westminster Abbey beneath vaulted ceilings and flashing cameras, a smiling royal bride stepping into one of the most powerful families in the world, and who now, nearly 4 decades later, stands at a crossroads defined not by ceremony, but by silence, shuttered companies, and mounting financial pressure. Because behind the headlines and formal statements, a far more consequential question is beginning to circulate in royal circles. What happens when someone who knows the family's most sensitive secrets runs out of options? In February 2026, royal correspondent Samara Gill delivered a blunt assessment during a televised segment that immediately caught attention. Sarah Ferguson, she said, possesses intimate knowledge of the royal family's darkest chapters. She knows where reputational landmines are buried. And if financial desperation pushes her far enough, those revelations could become commodities. It was not framed as a threat. It was framed as a calculation. To understand why that calculation is even being discussed, you have to look at the present moment, because her current circumstances tell the story more clearly than any speculation ever could. The last verified public appearance of Sarah Ferguson came on September 16, 2025, at the memorial service for Catherine, Duchess of Kent. Since then, the public record shows nothing. No engagements, no interviews, no official appearances, no statements. Silence. Sources suggest she retreated to the United Arab Emirates as pressure intensified in Britain. And while she reportedly sought distance abroad, events at home began moving with startling speed. In February 2026, over the course of just 3 days, 6 companies listing Ferguson as a primary executive submitted closure filings to the UK's corporate registry. The pace alone raised eyebrows. Phoenix Events Limited dissolved first, followed by Philanthropreneur Limited, Fergus Farm Limited, Luna Investments Limited, Solomon Limited, and Planet Partners Productions Limited. Some of these entities had operated for over a decade. Others managed branding, investments, or charitable initiatives. 72 hours, 6 closures. A business network erased in rapid succession. Then came another development. Sarah's Trust, the charitable foundation she established in 2020 to support women and children internationally, announced the indefinite suspension of activities. The organization had partnered with dozens of charities across multiple countries. Now, it too stood still. Royal analyst Margaret Holder described the unraveling as systematic. Not chaotic, not random, systematic. The catalyst, many point out, arrived on January 30th, 2026, when the U.S. Department of Justice released additional documentation related to Jeffrey Epstein. Within those files were communications that appeared to challenge long-standing claims about the timeline of Ferguson's association with him. For years, representatives maintained that she had severed ties once the extent of Epstein's criminal conduct became clear, but the documents, as reported by multiple outlets, suggested continued contact after his 2009 release from incarceration. Travel records reportedly placed her in Miami shortly after his release. Correspondence from later that year allegedly described him in deeply personal terms. By 2010 and 2011, emails, according to reporting, reflected warmth, loyalty, even affection. Chronology matters, because by that time, Epstein's conviction was already public knowledge. It is important to stress that appearing in Epstein-related documents carries no automatic implication of criminal wrongdoing. Numerous media organizations have emphasized this distinction clearly, but reputational damage operates under different rules than legal standards. Charities reacted swiftly. Patronages were withdrawn. Organizations publicly distanced themselves. Statements were issued. And the narrative shifted. In 2011, Ferguson had publicly vowed to maintain no further contact with Epstein. Yet additional reported communications later surfaced, suggesting continued correspondence. Her representatives have argued that certain messages were sent under legal advice amid concerns about potential litigation threats. Still, once credibility fractures, repair becomes complicated. At the same time, her personal living situation grew more precarious. Royal Lodge, long associated with her and Prince Andrew, ceased to represent a stable base. Cohabitation offered no easy solution. Her daughters are financially secure in their own marriages, but relocation into their homes would represent a visible shift in status. Royal biographer Andrew Loney has argued that Britain offers little path to full social rehabilitation for either Ferguson or Andrew. In contrast, the Middle East, where she is reportedly spending significant time, presents a different environment, one less preoccupied with British royal controversies. Geography, in this case, may equal opportunity. Meanwhile, Prince Andrew reportedly qualifies for modest pension income from his Royal Navy service. But analysts suggest Ferguson's financial requirements are more immediate and complex. Reports in late 2025 indicated her advisors privately evaluated the potential of a major televised interview as a revenue source. No such appearance has materialized. Yet American networks, including figures who have interviewed her before, are said to remain open to discussions should she choose that path. And this is where the palace's anxiety reportedly enters the equation. An insider speaking to royal observers suggested there is concern about what an unrestricted, unscripted interview could contain. Not necessarily scandal, but perspective, memory, interpretation. Sarah Ferguson was not a peripheral observer during her years inside the royal family. She lived it, she witnessed it, she participated in it. For 3 decades following her 1996 divorce, she navigated a delicate balance, maintaining proximity to the crown while operating without its formal protection. That balance required discretion. For the most part, she upheld it. But discretion often relies on stability, and stability is precisely what appears to be under strain. At 66, with companies dissolved, a foundation suspended, patronages lost, and public standing challenged, the economic incentive to maintain silence may look different than it once did. Whether she would ever choose disclosure remains unknown. Those who speculate often frame it as leverage, not revenge, as survival, not spectacle. Inside palace walls, according to those who follow these dynamics closely, the possibility is not dismissed lightly. The woman who entered Westminster Abbey in 1986 as a royal bride now stands in a far more complicated position, one shaped by financial pressure, reputational fallout, and the undeniable reality that knowledge, in certain circumstances, holds value. For now, she remains silent, but silence, in royal history, has rarely been permanent. And that uncertainty may be the most powerful element of this entire story.